that the U.S. Attorney received this, be no doubt about that. Judge Richard Young refuses to maintain my status quo as the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances. I have power to impeach the president and any judges refusing to comply with the Constitution. By the rule of law, I'm owed $350 million for the fall of the 14th Amendment, right to due process, and a miscarriage of justice by the United States Supreme Court imposing slavery. Oppression of a people requires immediate restitution to be paid this October 17th, 2018, in addition to ordering the media to give national coverage of the Constitution checks and balances, supported by irrefutable evidence. Both the state of Indiana and the United States Supreme Court imposed slavery. Introduction: Judge Richard Young, Judge Tanya Pratt, Chief Judge Jane E. Magnus Stinson, Chief Judge of the Seventh Circuit, and Magistrate, listen to this, Matthew Brookman, all denied the guaranteed right to freedom of the press to conceal the checks and balances from the public. An inviolable right. Inviolable means it cannot be violated, and they violate it. Go arrest and indict all of the judges that I mentioned, just said their names. Okay. They cannot be violated. Judge Richard Young, Tanya Pratt, and Chief Judge Magnus Stinson continued oppression, denying the rule of law to continue oppression, all violating Title 18, Section 242, denying rights under color of law. Under color of law means that these are officials who have denied these guaranteed rights. They've been indicted, go indict them and call for their arrest. There you have it right there. And we'll have none of that as Magistrate Matthew P. Brookman said that this was all gibberish. An insult, and saying I'm just talking crazy. But as you see, this is real. And I am empowered by the Constitution checks and balances because I am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances. And I order for you to make sure that the Treasury pays that $3.141 billion this coming Friday. Get the money to the House. Be no excuses on that. Acting Deputy Director David Bowdish stopped continued oppression immediately by sending a carrier with a black card, get the black card now, for Jesha Miller BB, an appointment with Treasury to pay $3.141 billion and counting. Friday the 9th, 2020. No excuses. Filed. That's the court stamp right there. That stamp? Yeah. Status quo meaning the existing state of affairs, especially, I am special now, especially regarding social or political issues. And as I just showed you, socially, I have a net worth owed by the Treasury by the rule of law, $3.141 billion and counting. Jesha Miller has a status quo of being the petitioner of the checks and balances, which is empowered by the supreme law of the land. All of those talking that gibberish and all that was just a cover-up. It was a 52 fake-out. Checks and balances are an essential part of the Constitution, meaning absolutely necessary, extremely important, crucial, mandatory, indispensable. Can't get rid of this right here. Obligatory, meaning required by legal, moral, or other rule. Mandatory by law. Of which all of them talking all of that trash. And as I said, this was a duty. FBI Director Christopher Wray must be held accountable for refusing to uphold the integrity of the Constitution. Reference to petition for action to the President of the United States. Director Christopher Wray, that's the FBI Director, must immediately order the Secretary of the Treasury to pay, which he did not do. That's oppression. The government cannot oppress us. What I told you. They reverted back to the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. Which was so crazy was that the black people accepted that, and the only ones not under that was athletes and entertainers. Yep. And they knew that the game changer was to enforce the First Amendment to freedom of the press. This is what the FBI Director knew. This is bringing it from the darkness to the light, because those that did wrong don't want it to be known, which is called coming to light. And this all started, like I said, with the United States Supreme Court, who was to pay at, I said, $50 million. And there you have that. And from the $50 million, the 10% interest and penalty $5 million a day for not paying the money. Here you go. Wherefore the petitioner prays to the Creator that this honorable court immediately grant stay and order my immediate release. That's what I'm telling you. The United States Supreme Court imposed slavery. See, you're wondering why you're not getting no justice, because they're refusing to be checked, and I'm the one with the evidence to prove all of this. So what they do, they cut off all the money. What is the result of having no money? It's death. Intention, a malicious act. Grant stay and order immediate release that I'm entitled to pursuant to the writ of habeas corpus. The writ of habeas corpus is a power denied government. The court will award the petitioner Jesha Miller the total of $10 million upon my release, and also an additional $40 million for punitive damages. Those are damages by the official. Those damages, you do not collect any taxes. Pay me in full. $3.141 billion. There you have it. This is factual evidence. Todd Young acted against the United States, refusing to take the checks and balances to the floor of the Senate and contact the Treasury to pay $3.141 billion. He violates Title 18, Section 241 and 1001. Title Section 241 is the conspiracy to deny rights, and 1001 he concealed it from the public after I ordered him to do it. I got power. I ordered him to do it. And must be held accountable. He must be held accountable. There you go with that right there. So check this out. This is from his stationery in Washington. I was on Capitol Hill, that's right. U.S. Senator Todd Young, I, Jesha Miller, am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances, requiring you take to the floor of the Senate I'm empowered. I got power, man. But they refuse. Remember the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion? They refuse to honor the status quo of a black man. Reverted back to the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. I'm empowered by the checks and balances to be introduced to Congress, and I need you to give appointment to the Treasury so I maintain my status quo with a net worth of $3,141,000,000 owed for the judicial branch imposing slavery and continued oppression refusing to pay. He didn't do that. There it is, and this is in his office. I told you I was on Capitol Hill. This is in his office. The evidence is right there. Indict and arrest him. That's what the FBI does. Do your job. It's that time you're being ordered. And here it is, right here. Well, it's got the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion again too. But the habeas corpus, that's a power-denied government. President Trump, I told you can't run for the next election. Obstruction of justice, because that holds him accountable, but you're refusing to honor it in obstruction of justice. No, he cannot run for the next election. Showstopper, yeah. Here we go. President Trump commits crimes in violation of the Constitution and oath of office, imposing oppression, refusing to pay Jesha Miller $145 million, which is now $1,045 million. The judges, U.S. attorneys Josh Minkler and Tim Horty, and politicians Todd Young, Larry Bouchon, and Paul Ryan, who was involved in that. Criminal offenses are listed below. As a veteran, I'm the veteran. I serve to protect the right to freedom and justice in America. Now I do that again because I took oath to uphold the integrity of the Constitution. And you use the Constitution's checks and balances to do that. And I'm presenting the evidence before all America, of which the media didn't show you. Right there. The judicial branch reverted back to denying black people the guaranteed right to freedom, justice, and equality in America. The 13th and 14th Amendments in doing so are criminal acts in violation of Title 18, which are all crimes. Now, for the blacks, NAACP, anyway, Black Caucus, anyway, the 13th Amendment. Here you have the 13th Amendment, which the only part that y'all paid attention to was that you was slaves and are now free. But this is what the 13th Amendment says. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. Duly convicted is due process. The 14th Amendment, which I showed you in the transcripts, was violated. They violate the 13th Amendment, imposing slavery. Shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. You see that First Amendment to freedom of speech, press, what I was telling you about. You have to be educated. I have to tell you how to protect your own rights. It says less than a year after ratification of the 13th Amendment, Congress used its newly conferred power to pass the Civil Rights Acts of 1866, giving black citizens the same right in every state to make and enforce contracts, to sue, be parties, inherit, etc., purchase, sell, and convey real and personal property, and to the full and equal benefit of all laws. This is what they violating again on you. and proceedings for security of person and property as is enjoyed by white citizens. We've got the same rights that they got, and we enjoy them just like you do. This is what it includes, that we got the same rights as white people. I had to educate y'all. It was more than just being freed as slaves. Supporters, if the 1866 law argued that its guarantee constituted appropriate means of enforcing the rights of black not to be held in bondage, we also have imposed slavery involved in this. I have it. See, all y'all blacks need to freeze that page and take and read it. You got the same rights as a white man. Here it is, the speech press. I told you. They violated the Constitution, including the media, because the media could not censor this to prevent it from being known by the public. They must be indicted and arrested, as I told you. Yeah. Call me 812-470-4220, the acting Deputy Director of the FBI, David Bowditch. Call that number immediately. I need to get my money paid, and we need to start in informing the public of the Constitution's checks and balances. And if you thought I was lying, once again, pop off. Powers denied to the federal government the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless wherein in cases of rebellion or invasion we have not been invaded. There you go right there. Powers denied the government. They violated their powers. And once again, before we go off, I said the habeas corpus, there that is. The United States Supreme Court, the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. And in this habeas corpus, the crime committed by the Indiana courts taking my freedom, pursuant to 18 U.S.C. Section 243 is against the peace and the dignity of the United States. That's against the peace and the dignity of the United States. And the statute provided which is compelling reason to grant, stay, and uphold the integrity of the Constitution. This is a matter of public concern that the Constitution must be upheld, and the judicial system is not to be used to re-enslave blacks. My rights have been violated under color of law. That means the officials did this to hold me kidnapped and denying a state habeas corpus. There it is, the habeas corpus. And this is the second time that they did it. There it is. You get it right there. That's they seal. They did it twice. So they have no intentions to protecting the rights to freedom of black men, less known a veteran. So there you have it. The evidence calling for the indictments and the arrest of all those involved, and the President of the United States being involved, obstruction of justice by preventing the Constitution checks and balances. Black Lives Matter. This is how you stop police brutality, inequality, and social injustice. I've just proven this to be fact. And I got the power to do it. So media gives me my immediate coverage. Thank you. Don't forget, United States Air Force, fly high, yeah.